Hello, 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 and good morning. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you feel the vibe? Yes, I think you can. My name's Jenny Kovacs, and as you can tell up there, I'm known as the Queen of Being Seen. But today is Motivational Monday. And these Monday motivations started off way back in 2008 while I was still working corporately. They started off as just an email that used to go around on a Monday morning to a few work colleagues because Mondays were getting a bad rap. Mondays was a day where people were like just not looking forward to their day. Sorry, I've got something in front of my camera. I'm just going to move it a little bit. There you go. People weren't really looking forward to their day. They started their Monday with the sinking feeling of dread. And I just thought, like, really? What a way to start a week. If you're about to start your week, you know, you've got lots of things to do. Maybe you're not looking forward to some of them. And all you could think about is, oh, it's Monday. You know, I don't like Mondays. I hate Mondays and all of that. That's no way to start your week. So saying good morning to you, Alan. Thanks for saying morning. Thanks to those of you who watch these, not only on the replay, but watch these live. You know, even if you don't comment, that's not the objective of these. The objective is for you to be motivated for your Monday. And I know for some of you in Australia, it's Monday evening. And for some of my friends in America, it's Sunday night. So either way, please take the juice out of these Monday motivations. Well, this week's topic is a juicy topic, even if I say so myself. Now, this is something that has come up in conversation with clients, for me personally. You know, it's just like it's everywhere. And what I tend to do is I plan these out in blocks. However, when something comes up like that as a theme, I have to share it. So I'm saying, hey up, good morning to Ian, who's also saying good morning to Alan. And hi all, says Ovona. Yeah, what a wonderful sunny day. You know, it's beautiful here in London, and you know, for my friends that have reported back to me from Stoke-on-Trent and Manchester how lovely and sunny it's this week, we've finally got the sun. Hooray! So let's get into the topic of the need to do it piece. Now, I have clients, friends, peers, myself. I'm never ever like exempt from any of these, who often say, oh, I need to do it. I need to do this, or I need to do that. I hear it all the time. I need to be more visible. I need to clear out my shed. I need to spring clean. I need to get the kids ready. You know, whatever the need to do is something that we feel. Now, I could do a whole piece on what they call the, in NeuroLinguistic Programming, the necessity, the operators of necessity, where we literally in our language say, I need to do something. There's a whole question line we could go down just there. But what I would like to do this morning is to share how to transform the I need to do it. This is not to say to take it away, to numb it out, to get rid of it. This is just to really be able to show you how to have that feeling of I need to do something and actually take it into action, because that's what Monday motivations are about. It's not about us dreaming and wishing and thinking about stuff. It's about us being able to do a thing, you know, on whatever level it is. So don't make it big or small. Don't make it, I need to, you know, create £1 million in my business as a big thing, and I need to be able to close a door without slamming it as a small thing. That will be our perception, and this can get in the way. So how are we going to do this? Quite often when we are coaching when I'm coaching clients, coaching is normally a process of I'll ask them questions and they'll answer. Now, there's no right or wrong answer to their questions, but just the question alone helps them elicit what's really and truly going on for them. This is the most helpful thing that can be done. It's not so much like on these lives, it's very one way, because you're not here live. I'm not able to say, so give me an example and what do you think? Although I do try to do that. So if you have got something that you feel that you need to do and want to put it in the comments below, remember that this is a public page, then please do so. But if not, hit the visit group button at the top of the page. Come and join the Vibes Tribe, because they're in the Vibes Tribe. I have to say it's a nice, warm, soft and friendly place to land. But also, any comments that you put in there stay in the group. You know, your Aunt Edna doesn't see it on your timeline, or your best mate from work doesn't get to read it, or, you know, your family or your long distance cousins or people that you go and play cricket with, you know, they don't get to read it. So it gives you a nice soft space to be able to share these things with like over 850 other people who absolutely like get it and support you. So it's a really good place to land. So that said, there's something that I've noticed when we need to do something, and I really hope that this this morning's Facebook Live will be helpful to you, and for those of you who watch these back on YouTube or anywhere else that you might find this. So there's something I notice when we feel we need to do something, and this would be really helpful. Hey, enjoy yoga, okay? Thanks for saying good morning. Come back and watch us later. We'd love to have your thoughts and input too. So here's one of the things to think about. First of all, think about something where you keep saying, I need to do this, okay? You don't need to share it here unless you want to, but where you keep saying, but I need to do this thing. Think of that thing. If a number of things are coming up, that's fine. Write them down maybe somewhere, but just use one of them as an example to go through this. And my aim in doing that isn't to, you know, to name and shame you or put you in the spotlight or anything else like that. It's for you to actually have the experience of going through this so that you can see how it works for you, okay? So would really love you to do that. So one of the things that I notice when somebody comes to me and says, I need to do this, or when I find myself saying to myself, I need to do this thing, one of the things that I notice is that there's a certain way in which we articulate it, a certain way in which we voice it. So I'm going to give you an example of what it is exactly that happens and what you do, and I'm just going to go through and kind of pick it down so that you can start to use this right now from this morning for your Monday morning or your day or your week, as I said up there. So let me take an example. I'm going to talk about visibility because it's a topic that is always on my lips. It's a topic that I specialise in, and it's a topic that people come to me initially for. I would say 90% of my clients come to me for visibility, and there's probably 10%, in fact it's probably more than that now, but 10% of people, maybe higher, who come to me, and although visibility might be something that's on their mind, they come to me and the thing that will really make the biggest difference is something else. Some recent examples, one of them when we dove down into it was they wanted to be able to sleep better, and they've achieved that. So now it's like, tick that off the list, on to the next thing. Now we're doing some visibility stuff with them so that they can really, you know, get make the sort of impact that they want to make in the world. You know, other people have come to me and they've said, you know, I don't handle stress very well. And whilst I wouldn't say that I was necessarily a stress coach, I have tools and techniques and ways of being able to gift you stuff so that you can get on with your life and work through, live through, and just, you know, dissipate. People say transform, but it's like a dissipation. It starts to dissipate and then disappears, which is gorgeous. So one of the things that I take my clients through is like a 5-step process. And one of those processes, when we're looking at goal setting, I ask people to get really, really specific on what it is that they want. And the reason that this is a good idea, by the way, if you're setting goals, rather than saying, I want to write a book next year, take it from Alan, who's written like 7 books, if not more than that, and he's currently in the process of doing more. Take it from, and thank you for sharing, by the way. Thank you so much. That honours me, and honours you, and honours the work. So thank you. So, you know, Alan would never have sat there and said, I want to write a book someday. Whether it's circumstances, environment, or something that changed that might have caused him to do that is another completely whole nother level. However, Alan took the decision to invest his time in writing a book. And in order to do that, whether he did that consciously or not, he put in some very specific goals. He would have put in specific goals as to what he wants to write the book about, like how long it was going to be. Maybe at the start he's like, I'm just going to write this down. He would have been very specific on a few key elements to have made that happen. How do I know that? Because it's happened and there's more happening. So, okay, Kalimia, I thought you were tagging somebody then, although I did get a flash up to see that someone shared this, so thank you for sharing. So, hola, ¿qué tal? That's probably the best I can do. Oh, I can do Turkish, günaydın, or bonjour in French, which reminds me, where's our lovely France-Lise? She's probably trying to get those kids up and ready for school. But anyway, I digress. Alan would have been very specific. And anyone who has got a goal in mind, at some point, even if they didn't consciously do it to start off with, would have been very specific. Even uttering those words, you know, when you're doing something, you're like, I'm not doing anything else until this is finished. And it's like a grit and determination. And then you do it and it's finished and you're like, oh, it's done. Oh my gosh. So that kind of thing is actually being very specific. But here's another level that I haven't heard any kind of life coaches or any coaches talk about when it comes to needing to do something and getting it done. And that is how to be specific and when not to be specific, okay? So some of you may have heard of something, you know, chunk something up and chunk something down, which means make it bigger. Example, I can say I'm looking at a wooden table. That's pretty specific. I can say it's a wooden table with 4 legs made of pine with 8 chairs around it. That's getting even more specific. That's chunking down. However, if I wanted to be a bit more chunked up about it, I would say there's some furniture. And can you see how it takes it up a level? So furniture is the higher level, table is the middle level, and then chunking it down. A pine table with 4 legs with 8 chairs around it. So you're adding in the level of detail. And Alan, you're absolutely welcome. Anyone that has written as many books as you, given the challenges that you have seemingly sailed through, definitely deserves a shout out and more, and every success with the book. So keep us posted. I know you've got a page. I think it's Alan L. Roberts. It's a public page on Facebook. So if you want to know more about Alan and his books, definitely follow him for that. So now you've got the kind of a quick example of chunking up and chunking down. I want to play out what happens and what people do and why sometimes they end up saying, I need to do this, and have that feeling, that horrible feeling of frustration that comes with it. So 2 things that I would absolutely love you to try out on the thing that you wrote down or thought about earlier, on the thing that you need to do. So the first thing is, look at whether you need to chunk it up or chunk it down. Why would you talk about the tables, the pine, the 4 legs, or the generic furniture? It's of interest to me. Virtually every single client I speak to who's being challenged with something will tell me in great detail why it's not working. They'll tell me, I don't sleep because of this. I worry in the night because of this, that and the other. I go to bed too late. I drink too much. I party too much. I stress out too much. I stay at work too late. But they won't even stop there. Well, I really love my work, and because I'm so passionate about my work, I can sit at my desk and lose hours, and then the kids will come in and then they'll want some attention. And then last week, little Johnny came in and he had his, toy dinosaur and he kept swinging it around, and I said to him, don't swing it around, and he swung it around and then knocked off my best porcelain china and broke it into 1,000 pieces. Jenny, it took me 10 hours to sit there and stick it together. Blah, blah, blah. Lots and lots of detail, very, very specific. So then they'll get that all off their chest, and I'll say, so, what would you rather have instead of feeling frustrated and stressed and overworked? I don't know, I'd just like to be happy. And, happy, a bit more happier. Not so miserable where all the tears come down and I feel really tight in my chest and I go red and I just feel really stressed and da-da-da-da-da-da. And what I've noticed over the years, and I've been doing this for a number of years, officially as a coach, and so officially in my business for 8.5 years. Wow, can't believe that. And unofficially, for years before, like decades before, I've always been the sort of person that if you're on your own travelling at an airport, and I'm on my own, or even if I'm not on my own, people will spill and tell me their deepest, darkest secrets. And then they'll say, thank you so much. I feel so much better having spoken to you. And I'm thinking, I didn't really say anything. So that has gone on. But here's the thing that I've noticed. When we find ourselves, to use a very famous lyric, when we find ourselves in times of trouble, we get really great at being specific. We get really great at the detail. We get really great at honing down into the nitty-gritty of everything that's not working. Oh, I would like to go on holiday, but Jenny, you don't understand. I don't have the money. You know, I'm so busy working and I do these 3 jobs and and this is not to negate anyone that's doing 3 jobs. It's a tough old thing. But they'll tell me, and it's really hard because then I have to do this and I have to pay out for that. And then I'm paying for my mum to do this. And then this happens and this happens and this happens. They'll go into the detail. And once again, I'll say, so if you could go on your dream holiday, where would you go? Oh, Antigua. And so what they naturally are doing is they're chunking down into the problem. And that itself is a problem for them. And here's why. When we spend so much time in the detail of the reasons why we can't, the stuff that's not working for us, the things that stop us, the things that put us off, the reasons why we can't continue or do our biggest, brightest goals, what we do is we perpetuate that. On a physical level, we perpetuate it because what we do is we give permanent instruction to our subconscious mind, the one that sees in pictures, that we can't do it. We can't do it because, and we keep feeding it with the detail. Can't do it because people like me don't do it. Can't do it because I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. What we're doing there is we are we're almost affirming, I don't have the money, I don't have the money. And then I say, well, where would you like to go to instead? Antigua. But it's really hard for me to go to Antigua because, and you go back into the detail. So here's 2 switches that I want you to try. Like I'm not even going to say this week. I want you to try as soon as you can after watching this Facebook Live, which, by the way, I hope that you will share on your timeline with friends and family. You never know what somebody is going through, thinking about, looking to grow, looking to get into. So I would so appreciate it if you do. But here are 2 things that I want you to try. That thing that you find yourself saying, I need to do this. I want you to go into the same level of detail and chunk down for the thing that you want to do in the same way that I did with the table, the pine table with the 4 legs and the 8 chairs around it. I could even put a candlestick in the middle with, white candles, 6 white candles and some place settings around and food on the table and everything else. That level of detail. So rather than saying, oh, I'd like to go on holiday to Antigua, I'd like to go to Antigua where the sky is blue, the sea is like 16 different blues, from aqua blues to greens to deep blues to light blues to soft yellow sand that feels great under my feet, with the heat of the sun bathing my skin. And even if it rains, it feels like I'm in a warm shower. As I look to the sea, I see dolphins swimming in the sea. I see the most brightly coloured fish of orange, greens, yellows. And practice getting yourself into the detail of the things that you want. I'm working on a project at the moment, and even though it's like 80% ready to go, there's still a lot of stuff underneath that needs to be done. And I could find myself saying, oh, I just want to get this done. But actually, I'm enjoying the process. So I'm going into the level of detail, like almost leaving no stone unturned, but it's not staying in my head. By going into that detail, it gives me an action of, right, what's next? So go chunk down for the things that you want, go into the level of detail. And guess what? If you don't want to feel invisible anymore, if you want to sleep better, if you want to eat better, if you want to be healthier, tell yourself what being or doing or having those things would look like to a level of detail. And when you don't have it, or if you don't have it right now, if you're going to tell yourself that you don't have it, use the high level of detail like it's furniture. But stop affirming the things that you don't want or don't have in that level of detail, okay? So here's what you, once you kind of practice doing that on the thing you wrote down, here's what you need to do to really bring it to life and really make it feel real, and especially great for that subconscious part of your mind that you don't, that you don't get to communicate with, but it sees in pictures. what you do is you chunk down into the thing that you want in lots of detail. Morning, Francis, good to see you. You chunk down into the detail of the thing that you really want. Now, by doing this, even just giving you an example of something that I'm not even kind of like purposely throwing out there, of going to Antigua. I've never said, oh, I really want to go to Antigua. But you know what? Now I've talked about that blue sky and the different coloured blues in the water, and, you know, the colourful stuff that I'm going to see there, and, you know, and the people and everything else. By even voicing that, it gives me a really great feeling. It makes me excited and think, yeah, when am I travelling next? Where am I going to go to next? Am I going to go to Antigua? Am I going to go to somewhere else? You know, and the feeling it gives me is one of excitement. I love being in the heat. I love it when the sun's out. I love it when the sky's blue. So here's something I'm going to ask you to do, which might feel like a bit of a stretch, but I promise you that if you do this on a regular basis, like do it morning, noon and night, do it every time you put a cup of tea to your lips, or take a sip of water, or put some food in your mouth, or every time that you, great one that I used to use when I worked corporately, every time I touched a door handle, there'd be certain, depending on what it was that I was looking to go to, there'd be certain kind of positive reinforcements that I would give myself. I'd put my hand on the door, then I'd say the thing that I needed to. Now you know how good it feels to have the thing that you want. Make a note, initially, just, you know, the first time you do this, make a note of those good feeling vibes that it gives you. And your only job, when you're looking to get something done, is to practice feeling great, those same good feeling vibes. So, for example, if I was doing this with myself, I would say, what are my Antigua vibes? So when I got up and thought, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do, I'd go, stop. What are my Antigua vibes? Oh, you know, what I see, what I hear, what I feel. Now I'm feeling really great and really excited and juiced and jazzed and like relaxed and comfortable and everything else. So my job is to get into that feeling first and then describe the thing that I want. Because have you ever noticed how difficult it is to say what you want when you're under duress and you're feeling stressed? So if you get out of bed and you're like, but I'm tired, oh yeah, I want to go to Antigua, I really do, it's really hard. So think of like the feeling, get the feeling in first, and once you've got the feeling, then describe in very, very great detail of the thing that you want. You'll notice it's so much more easier to get motivated to do the thing that you want to do. Now, if you have a job and maybe you work in a corporate setting, this stuff works just as well, because this is where Monday motivation started from. So if it's that you're going for a promotion, like think about it. Imagine you've already got the promotion. What are you doing? What difference are you making? How are you feeling? You're probably excited to get to work, and maybe part of it is problem solving and you love problem solving. Maybe it's getting to manage people and be with people and you love that. Maybe it's a leadership aspect of it and you love that. So whatever it is that you're looking to do, get into the feeling of it first and then describe the thing that you want in detail. The thing that you don't want, don't do it in detail. Stop that. If there's one thing I could ask you to take away from today's Monday motivation is all that stuff that you don't want anymore, stop describing it in detail. Stop going into detail on it. It doesn't help, because all it does is it almost like contracts you in and tells you why things aren't great and everything else. And it reinforces the very thing that you don't want. I'd love to hear more of what you're working on and what you're looking to get yourself out of the I need into something else. And if you don't want to say it all publicly here on this page, I completely understand. Leave me a comment and let me know that you've definitely done something, even if you don't tell me what it is. But to get into a more juicy and vibrant conversation, then I would ask you to go and hit the visit group button at the top of the page, go into the Visibility Vibes tribe, put the tag Monday motivation, and then share away in there. If you prefer not to write it, maybe you're like you're not like so much like Alan, who can write beautifully. Maybe you're more of a video person or a Facebook Live person. Go in there and say, and say your stuff. Speak it to us. Tell us and share your juicy vision if you can. And if you can't share the actual vision, then share the good feeling that you feel when you talk about it, when you think about it. and from this point onwards go there first. Did that resonate with anyone? If it did, give me a thumbs up or a love heart. Actually, let's see some red across the screen, and just give me a few love hearts. And if you have more questions and need to know more, or perhaps you're sitting there saying, I do need to work with somebody on this specific issue, and you haven't had the chance to do that yet, send me a message to this page. I'll send you a link. We can schedule a time to chat and see whether we can do something to work together. Thank you so much for those love hearts and the thumbs up. And one more exciting thing that's happening tonight, for those of you who are looking to be more visible, who are have been in the Discover Your Video Visibility, tonight at 7 p.m. UK time, which I think I established was 12 o'clock in LA and 3 o'clock in New York and Barbados, then come on over, join the group. There's a post just one or two down from this post that talks about being video visible, or being visible on video. If you haven't joined that group yet, definitely get in there. We're having some fun in there. We had 5 days of Facebook fun, which is spilled over to the weekend, and long may it continue. But tonight I'm going to be sharing what goes on in my head when it comes to being visible, and specifically on video, but more so, how do you leverage the video visibility to be more visible in your business? Looking forward to that, and part of that's going to be a Q&A, and for those of you that stay to the end, 75 minutes, I'm going to share with you a very special resource. So I'll post about it in there. I am going to go and prepare for my coaching calls that I've got today, and various other bits and pieces that I'm going to be doing. But most of all, have an absolutely fantastic Monday. I really hope that you take on some of the nuggets that I've shared this morning and have a completely gorgeous day. Motivating, hopefully, your Monday, your morning and your week. And I'm nosy by nature. Let me know how you get on in the Vibes Tribe, and do share this, because you never know what somebody is going through. Might look great from the outside, but inside they might just need to hear this. So do share this on your timeline with your friends and anyone. Maybe you might need to send them a private message. Thank you for those of you who are watching this live, and thank you especially for those of you who watch us on the replay. Thank you for sharing. Bye for now.